to the first ever podcast, Mind-Body Relationship, where we talk about the mind, the body, and what's the third one? Relationship. So joining me today is Dr. Laurie Ponsford-Hill, who is the clinical director of the Counselling House located in Woodstock, London, and now Port Stanley, Ontario. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm Emerald Hill. I am the registrar and the executive director as well of the Portside Art and Relational Therapy Institute located in Port Stanley. So what are we talking about today?
Well, today we're talking about overcoming challenges.
We had a big challenge, didn't we, a couple of weeks ago?
We did. Actually, it was one of those things, spur of the moment, very, very exciting thought I had in my mind. What would happen if we actually went to Toronto and went up the CN Tower and took the skywalk? It was a big idea, and it was an exciting thought, and, well, Emerald agreed to come with me.
I did, and I was so scared, too. As soon as she told me, she was like, we should do the skywalk. And I was like, no. Oh, that's scary.
Yeah. Now, usually for myself, right, I have a very, very high rating in regards to keeping myself safe. So I would say that I'm like a 9.5 out of 10 in regards to that. I don't really like taking on things that I don't consider to be safe. What would you say in regards to your rating?
I'd say I'm maybe more like a 6.5, kind of 7. I like trying new things. I like going new places. But that being said, I do experience a high level of nerves when I do try. But I think for me, I like overcoming those nerves.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, because you actually really do stand up. Like, you actually stand up in front of people and talk. You've overcome that fear.
Yeah.
Right? I like a piece of paper in front of me. Yes,
This
or
is so...
to read the slides.
Yes, this is true. I see you.
I do.
Mine is blank.
Sure. Anyway. Yeah. So anyway, so I thought that it would be a really great idea to take something on, a challenge, just to see what it was like in regards to the mind, the body, and of course, relationship, right? You need your mind to be able to come to terms with whatever it is that you're doing. I think that that is first and foremost, right? Our thoughts lead us to our feelings, lead us to our behavior, or it can go, up or down, just depending. So first off, it's about, coming up with the idea, and then how is it that you're actually really going to, fulfill this task. The second is that you need your body to work with you.
Yeah, really.
Right? You need to actually be able to move once it is that you get there. So it has to work in conjunction. The third thing, of course, is the relationship, the working in conjunction. But not only that, generally speaking, when we do pretty much anything, we're in relationship. Yeah. Either it's with self, right, to get yourself in sync with others, because we are surrounded by, generally speaking, other people, and socially.
Yeah.
Right? So this is all of those experiences wrapped up in one.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So how did you get your mind to say to you, yeah, let's do it?
Well, I like roller coasters, right? Like, I've always really enjoyed kind of the thrill that it brings. That being said, it's kind of weird. I like that you brought that up, because one time I went on a roller coaster, even though I had gone on a lot before that time, and I had a panic attack.
Yeah.
Which is so weird for me. So I was I had that in the back of my mind, actually. I was like, I know I can do this. I know that I'm safe. I'm worried that I'm going to overwhelm myself. So I think the thing is, when I was reading into it, I just kept repeating to myself, it's going to be okay. The lines that I'm being held to can hold 4,000 pounds, and I've lost some weight, so I'm definitely not 4,000 pounds. So everything's going to be okay. And I think that the mantra of I'm going to be okay really helped me get my mindset into the right place.
That's really important, I think, right? That element of safety. Safety is like the first line, right? In regards to Maslow's theory, I mean, you need to actually really have that sense of safety to know that whatever it is that you're taking on you're going to be safe, right? So it's important to really pay attention to those parameters. And I mean, the one thing that really rocks you when it is that you do take anything on is just the overwhelming feeling of so many things happening all at the same time, and the unexpected elements of it. Like, for example, going to Toronto and then having, like, we pre-organized it right online, got there, and there's this enormous line.
Yeah.
Enormous. Like, enormous. And so we were standing there, and I was confused because I have not been to the CN Tower for, I'm going to go with like a decade.
Yeah, I haven't been there for a really long time.
Really long time. And so when we're standing in the line, it was really confusing, right? Yeah. When we prepaid, should we be standing in this line? Why is there a line, right? And so finally, when it is that, when I did send you to ask somebody, like, how come it is that we're standing in this line? The reality is that, now it's all about the safety of it and going through the metal detectors, which, is a kind of a weird combination of things. One is, wow, yeah, we're all going to be safe. The other is, whoa, are we going to be safe?
Yeah, really, because a couple of things had happened during the years that put anybody on high alert.
I had no idea, absolutely no idea, searching through the purse, that sort of usual kind of stuff. Like, it's sort of like a little, and you're looking around at other people going, who are these people?
Yeah, really. Which was kind of funny because I had this kind of pump flashlight in my bag, and the guy that was going through it was like, I was like, I don't know, I just have it in there because I like safety. I like knowing that I can see in the dark. And he put it back because it's just plastic, but he was like, oh, that's the first one I think he's seen.
I think so too. So then, of course, the next element of it, once it is you get past all of the people, is the fact that they give you a giant sheet of paper with all of the disclaimers.
Yeah, don't you love those?
Yes, please have a read through this legal size piece of paper, double-sided, and then sign. Sure. Oh dear. So anyway, so then of course we go in, we get ourselves all suited up, and that was quite the experience as well. Didn't realize that your hair needs to actually really have some kind of band to have it up off of your face. It would have been nice to know that before we left.
My gosh, there were actually several things that happened that we didn't know about. Like, you have to have your hair up. Luckily, I was carrying another hairband for you to use, but also everyone had white shoes, including me, excluding Laurie. And so Laurie was like, where did everyone get their white shoes from? Where did everybody get their socks from? And not only was she asking me, where did you get your socks from, but she turned to the people who couldn't speak English and said, where did you get your socks from? And they were alarmed. They're like, this wasn't on the disclaimer.
I had no idea what I was talking about. But anyway, so apparently you don't actually really need socks, and you can wear your own shoes. Okay, all I saw was the lockers, so I figured they probably got, there's a bin. But anyway, never mind. So we got on our orange jumpsuits. Emerald had an interesting experience in regards to a man between her legs.
Okay. Thank you so much. So what happens is you put on the orange jumpsuit, and then you put on your harness, and there are elastic bands on the harness so that the tethers that come off of it to help strap you in can attach to the harness so they're not flailing about. But the guy that I had a weird sense of humor, and he had already said a couple of things to me that I was like, ha 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 ha. And he was like, you have to, like, he was pointing at my crotch, and he was like, you have to go in there and get elastic bands. And I was like, okay. So I was like fishing around, and then I got this overwhelming sense that he was just like taking the piss out of me. And I was just like, oh my God, there's no elastic bands, you're lying to me. And he was like, no, like, you have to get in there. You have to like get in there and get them. And I found one, and he was like, there, that's one, you have to get the other one. I promise I'm not lying. And I was like, okay.
Oh dear, that's so funny. And that only happened to her. But anyway, so once it is that we all got suited up, and there's like 7 of us, I think.
Yeah.
And so we all go up to that level in regards to CN Tower, and so then we're all standing there, and then they're attaching all of these cords and stuff, right? And so you get the sense of safety right? You just get the sense of safety, because the fact is that not only are they like, screwing it together, but then they're taking the plastic cording and they're making sure, what is the name of that plastic cording? Zip tie, and making sure that you can't even undo it, right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, there is the sense of safety, but there's also, so interesting how it works, this kind of like giddiness.
Yeah.
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 It's so funny, right? How it is that it's a combination of two things happening sort of all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
One is like the fear.
Yep.
A fear response. And the other is like that sense of relief. Like I don't know, like, you need to express that excited energy, almost like a horror movie, really.
Yeah, actually.
You're very afraid, and you're like, laughing, and kind of like outside of yourself, and that sort of thing. It's funny how it is that it's happening all at the same time. Yeah. What were you thinking when you were standing there just before it is that we were? Because you can see on the monitors what it is that's happening outside with the other groups. But what were you thinking as you were standing there waiting?
I could literally hear in my brain, I was going, just nervous breathing. But what I was really thinking was, I hope I don't look down, because I think that, I really thought in my head, that's going to take me out of the game if I look down. As long as I keep my face straight, I'm going to be all right. Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. I had no thoughts really going off in my mind at all, other than, what am I doing? Why did I decide to do this? What is this about again? Am I crazy? Anyway, so then we started going and walking out, right? And it was just such an exhilarating experience.
Yeah.
Right? The wind is blowing. It was a beautiful day. We couldn't have picked a better day.
Yeah, it was gorgeous.
Right? And the fellow who was leading us, he had a sense of humor.
Oh, he did.
Oh, yes, he did. And so there we were out on, this rather narrow walkway, probably the same size as this table,
sure.
Right? And and then he started asking us to do things. Right? Yeah. Just, at first it's like walk, and then it's like go to the edge and look down. And it's so funny, right? Because upon reflection, I'm thinking to myself, I was tethered in. I could have done anything.
Yeah, you could have done anything.
I could have jumped up and down. I could have gone to the side. I could have leaned over and relied upon the system. But you know what? I was not doing that.
No. You were taking baby steps.
I was taking baby steps. That edge looked scary.
Mm-hmm.
Right? And I could not get my foot to go to the edge.
No.
It was amazing. Even when I'm looking at the footage and I see that my feet are actually really not over the edge, I was shocked.
Yeah, I was too. And it's weird because you have balance. It's just when you go to the edge that all of a sudden you don't have your balance.
Yeah.
And it was so weird. I was like rocking. Because it was just so kind of overwhelming for my body to be like, we're about to die. What are you doing?
Yeah, it's such an interesting experience, because you're talking yourself through it, and I think that that's really key, right? Because it's like a shock to the system that you're there, and it's very scary at the same time, right? You're kind of like startled, right? And yet, it's so interesting because it's also triggering your brain like it's a reward, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and it felt like really exhilarating all at the same time, yet your body is like holding yourself back because it just senses, just naturally, that you need to be safe.
Yeah.
So it's interesting how it is that the combination of the two things were working all at the same time.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we started paying attention to the other people on the line.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah. At first it's all about you.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's all about me.
Yeah.
Right? I'm like the only person there. There's a whole group of us, but it's just about me. And then you start to actually really pay attention to the others and how it is that they're experiencing different levels, because everybody has their own number, right, in regards to safety, different levels of safety and how it is that they were moving towards the edge or leaning out over the edge. What did you think about that?
Yeah, that was really interesting for me because it's kind of like a weird juxtaposition because the two foreigners that were there, quite like, I guess, my height, and then there were two very tall men, and I'm going to say like 7 feet tall. And the shorter people, those two people, were actually quite good at keeping composure and leaning over the edge and going to the edge and doing everything that the guy told him to do. Mm-hmm. But the guys who were tall and big, who must have like a kind of different sense of their bodies because they have to be so aware all of the time of what they're doing, right, with standing in like doorways and things, had a really difficult time being comfortable leaning over the edge and being able to like look down and spread their arms out.
Oh yeah, so true, right? I had a very difficult time letting go.
Yeah.
I think I did it. But anyway, I really wanted to hold on, and I was really impressed because you actually not only did that, but you yelled out, "Hello, Toronto," like he asked you to do.
Hello, Toronto.
I don't know what I did.
I think you just squeaked.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. It was really cute, though.
Thank you.
He liked you.
I guess so.
I was like, haha.
I know.
Yeah.
I had the worst picture ever, though. My hair was just like this. But anyway.
I think the proudest moment I had for myself was, remember how I said I couldn't look down?
Yeah.
Well, at one point, we actually had to put our feet on the edge, stretch our arms out, and lean over. And I was the only one, while doing this, who looked straight down at the, like...
You did, yeah. And what did you think of it?
It was weird. It was like at that point, the thing that I was most afraid to do, when I had actually done it, I was okay. Mm-hmm. It was like, I think until that point, that's when I had really sweaty pits. I sweat through the orange suit. And I think at that point, maybe that's when I stopped sweating.
I could only hope. But anyway, so... I didn't have the same sort of like physical response, most probably because I think that I was holding myself like together, mm-hmm. you know, in regards to keeping myself safe and making sure that I was continually at that 9.59. But anyway, and so, but it was so exciting. And then when it is that we went all the way around and started to come in, that's when it was that I realized this is actually really a safe experience.
Yeah.
Not until it was over,
mm-hmm.
relatively over, and then I saw the fellow wave to the next group, because when we first started out, that's the first thing he did. He waved to the previous group. That's when I realized, wow, this is just group after group after group, right? And so then at that point I thought, oh, that's so sad, because if I were to go around again, I would be way more comfortable.
Yeah.
Way more relaxed. I'd be able to relax into it and allow my body to do more.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And develop even more, I think, of a relationship with the other people on the line, as well as we watch one another and become more comfortable in it. That's when it was that I really got it, how the fellow that was leading us was as comfortable as he was.
Yeah.
Because he's just doing it
over,
circle, circle, right? But then afterwards, what was so interesting was just that sense of relief.
Yeah.
Right? Just a release. I mean, laughing, having fun. You know, it was just like, that was a very scary experience, and yet at the same time, right?
Yeah.
The, brain was going off, reward,
mm-hmm.
right? So energizing, adrenaline, what a rush.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and a true adrenaline rush for sure.
True adrenaline rush, yeah. Totally a reward. We accomplished the task.
Yeah.
We took on a challenge. We did it, right? We met the goal.
Now, what I want to touch on as well is, like, we talked about the mind and how it responds and the body and how it responds, but the relationship was so interesting because everyone there had somebody. The 2 super tall guys had each other. The 2 foreigners had each other. We had each other. There was one person there who actually went by themselves.
That's right, exactly. The one that was in front of me, I think, right? Yeah. She was there all by herself, right? Yeah.
And she did really, really well, and that really impressed me.
Well, and it was interesting, too, how it is that it was the fellow leading, then her, then all of us with somebody that we had come with. So it was kind of like, you know how one person gets to sit with the teacher on an outing? Kind of like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, but and I do think, right? Because that's, I think, really the key. It's because you want to feel good about yourself, and that's that self relationship, right? So when it is that you take on these tasks, set a challenge for yourself to be able to do what it is that you really want to do, right? And I also think that that's a key too. You can do it more than once, and if you don't feel like you were successful or as relaxed or as comfortable as you would like to be, like for example doing stand-up or whatever that might be, it's the more you do it, right, the more comfortable you become, the more it is that you're training your mind, your body to work in relationship with one another, both components, right?
Right. I think that's a really good point. Like, you can always try again. And I think that's something that people forget about. They think like, oh, I have one opportunity to go on the skywalk. Well, really you don't. Oh, I have one opportunity to make it on stage. Well, really it takes like thousands of performances to get noticed. And so really being afraid, as it can help you have a good performance, because those nerves are something you can use. Really, it's not something that you should let yourself be overwhelmed with to stop you and prevent you from doing it.
That's so true. And you know what? It's the playfulness aspect of it, right? So, I mean, you're out in public, you do something interesting, right? Like you trip or whatever. If you can make fun of yourself, right? If you can allow your body to do that little bit of a dance, to sort of walk it off, shake it off, whatever that might be, have fun with it, right? Then you're actually able to deal with the fear.
Yeah.
But if you let the fear rule you, if you've got to be a 10 all the time, right, in regards to safety, and even like 2 clicks down is going to, send you into such a fearful place that you cannot even move, right, any longer, then the truth is that you're not able to do life, I guess.
Is 10 the safest? I think I went backwards.
What?
when we did the beginning, and I was like, and you said you were a 5?
No, I said a 9.5.
You said a 9? Oh, never mind. I did it right.
Anyway, so if you can just like walk that off, right? Like fluff that off.
Yeah,
have
really.
Fun with it, right? Exactly. That's the sense of release.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? Because if you hold the fear in your body, then it turns into really unhelpful stuff. Mm-hmm. But if you can release the fear in that kind of sense of having fun with it, letting your body do a bit of a dance to shake it off, I mean, then that is actually really the best experience in regards to taking on a challenge. And that, to me, is a really great way to measure it.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
I agree, for sure.
Yeah.
Is that everything that you wanted to touch on today?
I think so.
Well, thank you so much, Laurie, for having this awesome discussion with me about fear, and of course taking me on this wild adventure. I don't know how many meters up into the sky, but thank you so much for giving me that opportunity. It was exciting, and I'll definitely remember it forever.
Definitely.
And thank you so much for tuning in and listening to us and having a conversation. And if you have any questions or inquiries, or you have any topics that you would like us to discuss, feel free to comment it down in the comments section. Give us a like, subscribe if you'd like to. And again, thank you. Have a great day.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.